have Erika Lyremark on the line, author and coach of Think Like a Stripper over at the DailyWhip. We also have Erin Giles, Katie, Nicole, and Tina hanging out with us backstage. We are so excited. We're going to have the opportunity to watch questions and take questions from the chat. So feel free to chat over there. And I've actually got the chat going on another screen, so I'll pop over there and chat with people. But we're so glad you're here. Erika, you're on tour right now. How's it going?
It's going very well.
So where have you been so far?
Chicago and Minneapolis.
All right. And NiceOps Live. And did you do a radio show earlier this week?
I was on Blogcast FM on Monday, and then I was on Jessica Kupferman's Lady Business Radio yesterday. I'm here today. I got some other things. I'm speaking at Spark and Hustle in Detroit next Tuesday, and Aaron will be there. And what else am I doing? I'm going to be on a local radio show here in Minneapolis at the end of May. And yeah, more stuff. Kendrick Show, Helen Hunter McKenzie, more stuff's coming down the road.
So this book, Think Like a Stripper.
Yes, this book.
Is available where? On your website?
It's available on Amazon. That's the best place to get it. And then the Kindle, iPad, Nook, and Sony Reader version is coming out next week.
Okay, cool. So Think Like a Stripper, kind of a racy title, racy concept. What's like the craziest reaction you've got to it from people as you're out and about with it?
People have actually been really excited about it and really curious about it. I think they're surprised because they're not expecting someone to just like whip out a book like this, especially at business events. So I think they're more delightfully surprised and kind of excited that something new is going on in the marketplace.
That's awesome.
So the response has been really positive.
That's so cool. I told you, and we were tweeting a little bit, I was on a flight last week on the way back from Spark and Hustle, and there was a guy sitting next to me who everybody within 5 rows was hearing about your book because he was very intrigued. So it's a good conversation starter.
It is.
So you teach people how to sell, and actually 3 out of the 4 of the people on this line have worked with you in the past, and there is a lot of love for you out there. We actually have a gift for you that was supposed to be shipped to your house. It's on its way. It's on its way. But I want to show you, in the meantime, some of what people are saying for you. You know, we talked once about you filling up a big wall with love from people that you've worked with. So coming to your house, we have some more pictures to get you started. Can you guys see this on the screen?
Oh my gosh.
So we've got a little collection started for you to get your wall started of people sending you love.
Wow. Thank you. I can't wait to get it. I see Sally. Was that Cindy Schultz?
Yeah.
Oh, you took it away. Okay, awesome.
So there's, Erika, I've got to say, when I was reading your book, there were parts, you know, because we're all about nice over here at NiceOps, and the part I was reading about you smearing a sandwich all over that girl's shirt.
She deserved it. It was actually in her leather jacket.
Her leather jacket.
Yeah, so she had to get it professionally dry cleaned to get it out.
Oh my God.
And I can't remember. Did you guys were friendly after that, or did she just steer clear?
No, you eat my sandwich, we got a problem.
So how does, because that really weaved well into like the business personas that you've got. For the people who haven't seen you in action, tell us a little bit about this concept of different personas that you have going on and how that helps you sell.
So my multiple personalities. Yeah, ever since I was little, I've had imaginary friends. So there was, well, actually the only ones I named was Jungle Jim. I had an imaginary friend named Jungle Jim, and I always had this collection. And my brother and sister would say, they're not real. And I would say, you're lying, they're real. I see them, they're right here. And so I've always loved characters. I've always loved dressing up and pretending to be somebody else. So everybody from Cruella de Vil, my friend, and I saw Cruella the 101 Dalmatians. We were in the 3rd grade, went to the movies, and she said, that's so you when you're older. I'm like, right? Isn't she awesome? From Mary Tyler Moore to Maria Von Trapp from The Sound of Music to James Bond. I was always very, had a huge imagination. I was always pretending that to be somebody else. And I think think a huge part of that was, I don't want to get all psychoanalytical on everybody, but is that I am naturally creative, but I also grew up in a very restrictive household. So I had to really rely on my imagination to entertain myself because a lot of things were banned. So I just went inward. And as I have, Nicole is laughing over there. Where'd Tina go? As I went on in life, I have always, I've always just, pushed boundaries and done things that other people weren't willing to do. And sometimes I've had to embrace imaginary characters to help me with that. So when I was a stripper, it was, having a stage name. And that was when I really learned to name these characters that would help me. And I would, change different names depending on like the mood I was in that night. And then sometimes I would have my stage name, and then I would have a fake real name. Because guys I'd tell them my name, and they'd say it was mostly Bianca, and they'd say, that's not your real name. I'm like, you're right, it's Jenna. So Jenna was my fake real name. And then they were always satisfied with that answer. And so I think it's fun to play characters because you can pretend to be somebody else, and sometimes we just need to imagine ourselves so that we need to imagine ourselves being that person so that we can do what it is that we're afraid to do. And I know like Lady Gaga did this. I mean, that's how she created her whole character. Beyonce with Sasha Fierce. Madonna is in essence a characterization of herself. Lots of people have done this. I mean, it's kind of method acting, but for sales.
Yeah, I love that. How fun. So what we talked a lot about, and actually in your book too, you're talking about how to love selling as much as you love buying. Like how do you do that? Like weaving these fun names and sort of playing mind tricks, but what's the secret?
Well, the secret to love selling as much as you love buying is there's two parts to sales. There's the science to selling, which is knowing the features, benefits, results, objections, your customers' pain points, what is it they really want, and that's 50% of the equation, but that's where most people stop. Is the science piece, and what the next step is once you understand the basics of selling is to add your own flavor, to add your own flair to it, to your own personality. And then think like a stripper, I say know what kind of business seductress you are, is that we all have our own personalities, and that's where your sales magic is going to happen, is if you are embracing your true self. And people say be your authentic self, and nobody knows what that means, and I think that's the hardest thing to be your authentic self, because especially if you have imaginary characters, sometimes you don't even know who you are on some days. But it's really like, does this feel good to you? Like, are you excited about what you're doing? Do you want to work through this challenge? And that's where you will love selling as much as you love buying, when it feels like it's you who's doing it and you're not trying to be someone else.
Yeah, I love that, because when I first started working with you, I was in your morning whip program about a year ago now, and what I was doing was so not in line with what I should be doing and my purpose. And you kept poking. I'm like, no, this is it. This is me. And as soon as I realized, like, oh yeah, no, this is me, it all clicked. And that's where I sort of said in this email that was going out, I thought I didn't like selling. I just didn't like selling what wasn't authentically me. And it's hard to know, like, because you might think you're being on target, but no.
Well, I think that if you look at the history of sales, it really has been about conniving and convincing and cajoling. And Dan Pink talks about that in his book, To Sell as Human. It's a great book if you haven't picked it up yet. And we are past that. We are in a new era, and especially word of mouth and referrals and social media is the best way to get sales. And referrals has always been the best way to get sales, but we can have so much more of a referral-based business. If we give someone, incredible experience of working with us or buying our products or services, way more than getting in there and focusing just on closing the deal.
Yeah. So speak to that a little bit more, the experience of it, focusing on that more than just closing the deal. What does that look like for people?
Well, it's about not being attached to the outcome. It's about, hello over there. I haven't done a lot of Google Hangouts. This is like, wow, it's like being in a live video game. So it's, what are we talking about here? Oh, it's about really understanding the problem that you solve or the value that you're bringing to the world, and what is that customer wants. And if that customer doesn't want it, I mean, people need lots of stuff, but they have to want it, like really, really want it. And if they don't want it, you're not going to sell it to them, even if they need it. So coming from that place of, does this person want it? And making sure that it's a yes for that person. If it's a no, then move on. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Find someone else to sell to. So it really is about not being attached to the outcome, but being committed to your product or service and really believing in your product or service.
I love that. When you were starting out, when did you open the DailyWhip.com?
It was in 2009.
Okay, cool. So you're totally brand new to the marketplace. Nobody knows Erika Lyremark. How did you start to build? Because referrals come right after clients. So if someone's starting totally from scratch, how do you build that?
Well, you have to be in it for the long haul. Now, just to go back a little bit in history, when I started DailyWhip, or when I started coaching in 2005, it wasn't DailyWhip, and I've been through very many various brand transitions. And I was in commercial real estate, and I was planning on getting out of the industry earlier, and then the recession happened, and I had to work a lot harder than I ever had expected, and I thought my book would be done by the time I quit. So I wasn't super active online. I was writing blog posts probably maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, and I did have these daily whippings that went out once a day, 5 days a week, and I'm not doing those anymore. I'm switching things up over here. But that was just like a long process. And at one point, I did have a little radio show, like a blog talk radio show, and I realized I'm not Katie Couric, and that's not what I wanted to do. And I did that for about 3 months. And it's been a long haul. But what made the shift for me was when I went full time in September of 2011, and I had no backup plan, and I had to figure it out, and I wasn't making the money that I wanted to yet, and it was dishing out the free 15-minute whippings, which is how I built my business.
For people that don't know about the free 15-minute whippings, what is that?
So that's something that I used to do, and you basically get on the phone together and you tell me what your problem is, and I help you solve it.
Awesome. We arranged for a whipping to happen on this live call. Are you game for that still?
Absolutely.
All right. So we have Katie in the house.
Hi, Katie. I've never whipped you before.
No, you haven't.
And Katie is from Full Spectrum Productivity. And actually, Katie, I'll just let you dive right in and give Erika an overview of what your business is about. And I know that you came with a challenge and something that you wanted to discuss. So you guys can dive right in.
Okay, fabulous. Hi, Erika. It's so nice to meet you.
Hi, Katie. Nice to meet you, too. Nice to whip you.
Yeah. My business is fullspectrumproductivity.com, and I work with people who struggle with clutter and disorganization in their homes, and I help them get organized. And I really focus on the home. I work with clients virtually through online workshops and through one-on-one coaching over Skype. And Amber had mentioned to bring kind of like my question to you, and I am pretty good at the sales process, and people are really into it until the end, and I don't really know how to overcome like people's objections in sales.
Well, things always go well until you bring up the money, right? Just like dating is always going well until like, so are you going to be my boyfriend or what? Are we getting married or what's the deal? Are we having a baby or what?
Right.
So it's until you push up against people's boundaries, and money is like a huge boundary issue for people. So tell me what's like, I know that you do the whole home organization, but like what's your slant on it? Like why do people need it?
I think that people need it because everyone is so stressed out and overwhelmed in their lives, and people are attached to their objects and feel obligated to keep all of these things in their lives, and really if they release them, they'd have so much more freedom. So
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
So what are people attached to when it comes to the money?
When it comes to the money.
Because it sounds like you say that they're going to have so much more freedom when they release this. So what are the money blocks that your clients are having? That if they release those, they would experience so much more freedom around money.
I think they don't see how stuck they are. I think that they don't translate the value that they would get from getting organized to what the other side looks like.
So what is it that your clients really want?
They really want to stop being stressed out. They really want to get along with their family members better. They really want to stop being a half an hour late to work because they can't find their shoes or their keys or their papers. As entrepreneurs, I work with some entrepreneurs. They want to have peace at home because being an entrepreneur can be so stressful.
So it's about, I mean, they want to be peaceful. They want to be on time. They want to be organized, and they want to be peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they want a happy home life. So do you focus on that, or do you focus on your process when you're selling?
I try to focus on that. I think some people get wrapped up in the idea of like being like the magazines, and so sometimes I have to really get them to dig deep to give me real answers on the phone when I'm talking them, asking what their goals are. And no, but I guess I do talk about my process a good bit. Kind of most of my pre-sales process is having them look over, like answer questions to send to me and look over my frequently asked questions. But I think that most of my frequently
I would just dive right in. So right now, I mean, because here's the thing is that if you're doing like freebies and things like that, you want some sort of qualifier. Like they have to be in the market, right? Potentially in the market for what it is that you offer.
Right.
But the thing is when you have people do too much work in advance, it gets them into their like analytical brain. And you really want to come from a place of pure emotion.
Right. So
that way you can get through it better. And the thing about it too is that will be good for you because it'll help you develop your intuitive skills and helping your customer, and you're not relying on a form to help people.
Right.
And you can just have like a real conversation with somebody. It's like, what is it that you really want and what's stopping you from getting there? I mean, that's the basics of it. What is it that you want and what's stopping you from getting there? Yeah. And then talking about the results. Now, another thing that when money is an objection, are you kind of just starting out?
I've been doing this about 2 years.
Okay, about 2 years.
I'm transitioning into the virtual market. I had been working previously only in person.
Okay, and so how is that going with the virtual market? Like, what's the benefit to people with that?
It makes it so that my appointments are more flexible, and I had a lot of people contacting me from around the country that I couldn't work with because they couldn't afford to fly me out to California.
Oh, hang on. I got to plug my computer in. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is where I get a break from the whipping.
Yeah. You're doing great, though. You have your challenge all lined up.
We're matching. We matched today, Amber.
You should have told Aaron and Nicole.
Me and Nicole kind of match too.
Oh, you do?
So we've got a crowd on the line watching, but I think they're going to get to this part in the video like 5 minutes from now because it loaded slower. So we've got a little lag there.
That makes sense.
Okay. So, virtual. So let's see, where am I in this? Get distracted there with the phone thing. So we're talking about the money.
You're asking me the benefit up to them.
Yeah.
And I was having a lot of people from around the country contact me who couldn't afford to fly me to where they live. So it made it so that I could work with them in their homes, and my schedule would be a lot more flexible because we wouldn't be dealing with travel time and things like that.
Okay. And so what are people telling you when you start to close the sale? Are you finding out if they really want it?
I think I'm finding out if they really want it, and I think I think people don't quite know what to expect with how my program works. So I'm encountering a lot of questions about how the process works and what it looks like, because I guess it's not that common of a...
And how much does it cost to work with you?
I do 3 and 6 months programs, so the smallest investment for private coaching is a $1,500 roundabout investment,
okay.
Anywhere up to $5,000 for over 6 months.
Okay, so why do they need to work with you for 6 months to clear clutter?
A lot of people, I just find that when I work with clients, they benefit when we work over time rather than when we do these little one-offs and then they get overwhelmed and kind of lose track. So my program is made so that they have accountability over time and we work on it in a way that isn't overwhelming to them.
Okay, and then do you have clients who are paying that price?
I have clients who are paying that price in person right now, but not distant.
Virtually. Okay, so it's not, because I can see like paying for that in person, but the virtual thing, so I mean that's the thing about virtual is like because it's so much easier to have someone in your physical space helping you in that moment, because I know how people can get so attached to their things. So I would recommend of taking a look at your pricing, because when you said that to me, it seemed high based on the lack of sales that you're getting. And my philosophy is the most expensive thing in your business is a vacancy. And so it'd be better to lower your prices for a period of time until you get your clients going. So when I first started one of my courses, the Morning Whip, the first month that I started out, I needed volume and I needed confidence in my selling process and I needed confidence in what I was doing. So I actually didn't charge any money at all, even though I was a very experienced salesperson, very experienced coach. And that helped build my confidence. And slowly over time, I raised the price and went from $0 to $1,000 in a year-long period. And then I was, filling my course, every single time. And the last time I ran the course, there was over, like 50 newbies, 50 women that paid $1,000, and then I had women who repeat, and I charge a discounted rate to repeat my courses. Okay. And so I had 90 women, but I had to come from that place of you have to get results, because people will pay whatever as long as you're getting incredible results, and their best friend is telling you about them, and then their other best friend is like, oh, you have to work with her, and more people and more people are talking about you, and that's how you're going to be able to raise your rates. Right. And the other thing to think about the the online version is could you do a Google Hangout like this? Could you break it down and so it's more like a course and everybody's kind of in it together and they're working as a team together, and that's going to help lower your price point as well until you start filling that spot. And then there will come a time in your business when you can really charge whatever you want, because you're going to have the clout and you're going to have the credibility and you're going to have a name for yourself. Right.
I think I'm also running into people who want to work with me in person since I just transitioned in the last month and a half. I just think I'm still also in that sticky spot where they want me in person and they don't. I'm not. Maybe they're still looking at my old marketing too. So it's like.
Yeah, and that's a commitment you're going to have to make. That's the old version of me, and that version is sold out.
Right.
Yeah. So I had a woman, I was speaking at the Minneapolis Spark and Hustle, and I'd never met her before, and she said, hey, I'd love to get together for lunch and, to learn more about your target market. And I said, hey, that sounds amazing, and I'm really sorry, but I'm not available for that because I'm busy. Like, I'm freaking really busy. I've, tons of clients and tons of things going on. And,
right.
2 years ago, you could have had lunch with me, and now it's not a possibility.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I'm getting to that place where I'm figuring out what to say no to and what to say yes to, and doing the new marketing thing. Yeah.
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 So what's your takeaway?
I think my takeaway is it's to really get into the emotional side of it and to focus on the benefit to them and not so much the program. And I think to look at my prices and also figure out how to educate my people in my community also on what the benefits of different ways of working with me are.
And because really at the end of the day, what you offer is an incredibly emotional experience for people.
Yes.
People are so attached to their stuff.
Yes. Yes, I'm part therapist.
Yeah, right? And so that's the place that you're going to, this is not a thinking thing. Like, if you're thinking logically, none of us would have all the crap that we have.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm a total minimalist, and I've been clearing clutter since 1995. That was like my first coaching thing that I did. And I still look around and I'm like, why the hell do I have so much stuff? Where did this stuff come from?
Yeah. It just comes in. It sneaks in from every side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm usually the one like telling my husband like we've got to purge. And this week he said, "Can we clean these junk drawers?" Yeah, we can clean the junk drawers.
That's awesome.
I was in heaven. Total 360. Great, Katie. So did you get some good stuff out of that?
Yes, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Erika.
You're very welcome.
All right. And it's 1:30 now based on where we are in the call. And I know that there are some people who might have to drop at this point. It's definitely awesome. The rest of this is going to be recorded. Erika, I think we might just do one more whipping. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Good. Well, actually, maybe we'll just go all the way. Tina was on the line for a whipping.
Okay. Hey, Tina.
You ready, Tina? Can we hear you? You can go off mute now. I've made her go on mute before.
Okay. It's time to unmute yourself.
Oh, maybe she can't hear us. Unmute, Tina. She's got a sad face. She's off mute. Not working. Oh, bummer.
Why are you not working? I want to whip Nicole. I haven't whipped Nicole in a long time.
Do it.
Do it. And I'm going to be spending 2 days with Erin in Detroit, so she'll get lots
I'll get
of
whipped
whipping
plenty.
I can't help myself. I just like, I'm a whipping machine.
Nicole, you're
All right,
on.
Nicole, what's your problem?
Okay.
Congratulations on your book on Amazon. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm really stoked. I'm really excited about it. Where am I stuck? Honestly, right now I'm getting so busy, which is so great, that I just I don't have enough time. So that's a lot of I'm feeling a lot of anxiety of my to-do list. I'm like, oh shit, I need to hire out. I need to get I have a VA, but she doesn't work in the States, so it's really hard to coordinate with her. But I think that's probably my biggest problem right now. I feel really, really good, thanks to so much of what you've taught me and what you've shown me. And I think I'm now in a real leverage state where I need to get better systems into my business.
Help. Yes.
Yeah.
That's such an important piece of business is hiring help. At the Chicago Spark and Hustle, there's a woman, Nell Merlino, I think that's how you say it, from Count Me In, was talking about how statistically entrepreneurs who hire help within the first 6 months of their business statistically do way better because those are entrepreneurs who understand the power of delegation. And every time I'm afraid to delegate or to outsource something, I ask myself, is this going to give me more energy? Because when I have more energy, then I can do things like these Google Hangouts and things like this, and content creation and speaking and being out there with the people and working with clients, and that's my zone of genius. And everything else is yeah, can I do it? Absolutely, but that's not what I'm supposed to be doing on the planet. And so I ask myself, is this going to give me energy? Because when I have more energy, I can create money.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, and I was feeling really good. Yesterday I was I'm reading a book that talks about, masculine energy and feminine energy. And I realized when I first started my online business, I was masculine energy. Just really going for it and making things happen, control. And since I really started stepping out and relaxing a little bit more and having more fun in my business.
It's such a chore, isn't it, to relax?
I know, it's crazy, but
it's exhausting.
It's so great. But I think, and I've been feeling really good, being more feminine, lady of leisure, all that fun stuff. But then just this morning, I was I have a lot of shit to do.
Right. And then you're panic mode. Damn it, I relaxed for too long.
The whole time I was showering, I was deep belly breathing, deep belly breathing, deep. I did keep reminding myself because it just started working up. So I think I do need to absolutely delegate.
What's the name of the book?
Be a Food Lover and Lose Weight.
No, the other book about the masculine and the feminine.
Woman
energy.
Code.
Yeah, Christina from Radiance Advisor just blogged about that book today.
It's
I was just reading about that. I was wondering if it was the same book. So I've heard it twice in one day. It must be a sign from the universe.
It's a really good book.
So what's your non-action then? Because I don't want to give you an action, right?
Yeah.
What's your non-action?
So something that I'm not going to do? Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work this weekend. I'm going to take you camping with me, Erika. I was going to surprise you.
Yay! I would love to go camping with you. Seriously, I would.
Take a picture of you and say, look, Erika, you went camping with me. Who would have thought it would be possible that you would be camping?
I like s'mores.
Okay. So I just decided that I'm not. I was like, even though I have all this shit to do, we've had this camping trip planned, and I get no cell service, which I can get a little anxiety over that sometimes. So I think it'll be really good for me to like go and just let myself relax and literally do nothing, so I can come back and be energized.
Right, because again, it's when you have energy, you can do things. So something that helps me when I think of taking a break is I call it white space action, because when we think of creation of let's see how it's it's the pregnant pause. It's like creation happens in the space. So let's not talk about babies, but it's because it's not working in my head. But let's talk about music, right? So let's clap, space, clap, space. Everybody clap, space, clap, space, clap. One. We should not quit our day job and become a band. We would suck. But so think of that, right? That's how music happens. Sound space or clap space, clap space, clap space. So that's how it happens, and that's the rhythm of life. Like we have to rest. That's like, it can't be sunny all day long. It can't be sunny every day, all day long, or we would be completely dehydrated and worn out. Like we need rest. So that's something that happens that helps me think about it. I call it white space action, that I'm still taking action, but I'm kind of like letting the universe take over. I'm letting the universe do its chores because I've already done mine for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Because you feel so much more productive when you come back into work. And when I just can't believe that when I first started my business, I just was in such a control, like there was no white space action. Like I would be working on the weekends and I'd be working 12-hour days and I was making absolutely no money whatsoever. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I am working my ass off here and I'm not making any money. And now it's like the complete opposite. I have strong boundaries. 5 o'clock, I'm wrapping up my day. I'm going to make dinner. And it's, at night is, unless something major is going on, but, it's usually about connecting with my dogs, which are like my children, and my boyfriend, and then waking up and really having a routine that's for me, which I never did that. Like, I would get a quick workout in, and I'd, like, stuff my face while I was working, and it's just so interesting to me when you actually take that time, how much you actually make more money and reach more people when...
And you actually get more done because you're focused and you're not constantly looking at your to-do list and saying, well, what's next? And how am I going to get all this stuff done? You just start banging it out one by one, and it feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, who's next? Tina.
Is her sound back? No.
Tina, what if you take out your headset? What if it's something to do with your headset?
How do you not have sound?
Well, I mean, unplug it from your computer. Do you think that's maybe it?
Negative. Oh,
all right, Erin.
Awesome. Wait, before we go off of this, we had a recommendation from the audience. Walisha suggests you hire a VA, and I think she's got some services there. Walisha Morris. That's in from the chat.
Email me. I'm open. I need some help.
All right. So
I love it.
Website in. I'll get it over to you.
Okay. Perfect.
Hey, Walisha. Just saying hi over here.
And then Heather Erika has the question, sort of back to when you're starting out again. What's like, if you could pinpoint one thing you want to do when you're starting to get clients? She's wondering, beta clients, first a free call, then 2 follow-up calls for minimal charge. Oh boy, that seems like a lot of work. What's your take on that?
I don't understand the question.
What's the first thing you do to gain clients? Like if you can pinpoint one thing when you're starting
practice your sales conversations. Like just get out there and start practice, and allow yourself to be horrible at it. Completely horrid and horrible. And then Erin's laughing. She's like, I know how that feels.
Yeah. I remember.
We've all been horrible. My God. And just get out there and start practicing. And the more that you practice, the less attached you're going to be to the outcome. And then, like, once you're comfortable just having a normal conversation with somebody about your product or service. I mean, I used to sit in my car before coffee dates and I would pray to God, dear God, please help me sound articulate and not sound like a fool and know what I'm talking about. And then I just got comfortable having just a normal conversation, and then take that to the next level. Challenge yourself to, to start closing the deal and to start asking for the sale. And if that's not working out, figure out what is it that they're saying? Why are people saying no? And really listen to that. And do everything you can to educate yourself about selling, but keep practice. And buy my book, Think Like a Stripper. Yes.
I love it. Yeah, read this. That's what everybody should do first. Love that. All right, Alicia's contact information is in the chat, so I'll make sure we get that on this line as well. Good feedback. Okay, Erin, were you going to get whipped too?
Oh, I don't know if I can handle all those whippings. I'm going to be with her for several days. Yeah, we'll save it.
We'll save it. Yeah, Detroit.
We'll save it. Okay. All right. Tina, do you have audio yet?
No, she doesn't. Why don't you type what you need? Or maybe that would be annoying. Wait.
All right, what about you, Amber? You must have a problem today.
I did not bring a problem. I brought, like, my juggling skills.
You have tons of problems.
I totally, okay. First, no. My constant problem, which we've talked about, is sort of getting through the mindset block that people actually want what you're selling. And it's like coming up again and again, a theme. Like, I was talking to a psychic last week, a week and a half ago, and she said, let people invest in you. Let them make the investment. Like, be open to the money. Because I am money. And I was reading, actually, Denise Duffield Thomas's book.
Yeah, I just got that. Where is it? It's in my bedroom.
It's an awesome read. But when I was going through it, I was reminding myself of, like, my 20s self. When I'm like, oh, yeah, I did this, I did that. But I got away from it in the last few years, so I'm not a money magnet right now. That's still, and I'm enough. With sort of, Erika, you've got a person. What's her name? I'm enough.
Oh, wow, they changed so many. But there was I'm enough, spelled ENUFF. I'm enough, like a Muppet character. I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. So when you say you're not a money magnet, what are you doing to repel it? Because I have those questions to myself. I say, what am I doing to repel money, or what am I doing to block my blessings right now?
Great question. So I'm blocking by not even asking for the sale. Like, right now I'm having fun with the marketing.
That is rocket science. Ask for the sale.
I know.
So why aren't you asking for the sale?
I'm a systems girl, and I haven't got my system down for it yet in terms of how I'm going to ask for the sale online. Like, I'm finally get on the phone with someone, like yesterday. I have a new client.
So do that. Get on the phone with people. If that's what works for you, get on the phone with them.
That's true. Maybe I shouldn't try and force it. But I feel like there's something in this online model that I can get down with.
It will come. Here's the thing, Amber. It's, path of least resistance. When I first started, I built my business doing these free 15-minute whippings, and that was the best thing for me because it made me, way more confident in what I was doing. Because when you have a conversation with somebody and you help them work through their objections, especially objections around money, it's like an incredible feeling, and nobody else can give that to you. Nobody can give that to you. And if you're just relying on online, I think the statistics on a conversion rate on a sales page, it's like 1%. If 100 people go to your site, like 1% will buy. Wow. Statistically, even if you suck at sales, you could close 50% of the deals, even if you totally suck at sales, by having a real life conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize the conversion rates were.
It's don't quote me on that, but it's really low. Okay. And you'll get there. You'll totally get there where you won't have to have sales conversations with people and they'll just sign up. But just think of it as as a step in the ladder to your success that you need to climb. Like that's part of it, because that's going to help you build your confidence even more.
Yeah, I have no problem.
Being in business, you're going to be doing all sorts of negotiations and all sorts of things, and you have to be really, really comfortable talking about money. Yeah. And it's not just about money; it's negotiating contracts and all sorts of other things as well.
Yeah. See, and I don't mind talking about it. I just don't want to write about it or ask for it. Like, it feels so impersonal. Like, here's what I don't know. I've got some blockage there, obviously. Okay,
so you just said you don't have a problem talking about it, but asking is part of talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Asking is part of talking about it. Oh yeah, but if we're talking, I'll ask you then. But I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the email ask.
Oh, in the email ask. Yeah. Well, again, just go what works with you and figure out how to make it easy and how to make it fit your personality.
Yeah. I love that. I'm going to stick with it then.
Yeah, just go with what works. And again, like, follow your intuition. I've asked for the sale on Twitter, which I'm sure is a total social faux pas, but whatever, it works. People signed up for me because I asked them on Twitter.
It worked for me too.
Awesome. All right. Erika, this was awesome. Thank you for the whippings.
You're very welcome.
Before I let you go, I want to hear your Southern accent.
Oh my, I didn't think we were going to go to this place.
I love it. What other accents do you have? Anything else we need to hear? Can you do British? Or...
I can do British very badly. But it's Eastern European. Let's see. Wow, I've never been asked on the spot like this before.
Czech.
Yes, Czech. My Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah.
That guy.
Let me think of my character's name was Ursula. What do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? You can't say that kind of thing to me. Don't you know who I am? I will hurt you. I will cut you. You can't talk to me like that.
Got you. He said I will cut you.
Ursula was very badass and very gangster-like.
Who's your favorite personality?
All of them.
All of them? No, you're not partial to anyone?
One of my favorite personalities, and I talk about this in the book, is when I started wearing a blonde wig at work, and I just completely changed, because when I first started out, I was having these really in-depth, lengthy conversations and getting to know my customers and really cultivating regular customers, and then I realized that I was tired of having the same conversation, and I just wanted to go to work and make money. And I decided that I was going to try it out, and I was a little bit nervous at first, and I thought, what would my friends think of me if I wear a blonde wig, if I sell out, go to the bimbo side? And one of my other friends said to me, she was like, shit, man, I'd wear a green wig with boogers on it if I thought it would make me money. So I said, sold. It's time to dumb it down and, blonde it up. Not that blondes are dumb, Tina. And Tina's over there. And it changed the energy, and it actually was really fun because it was full on a completely different character. And when I first started out, and I don't talk about this in the book, I mean, I couldn't tell every story that there was, but when I first started out, that character's name was Sugar, and I loved being called Sugar. And I loved playing that character because it was just so totally opposite of who I am.
That's awesome. I love all these characters. Yeah, just to think there's more that's not in here. Maybe it'll be in the movie then?
There's a lot more.
Perhaps.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone who is watching right now. We're so glad you were able to join us for another episode of NiceOps Live. You can find more Nice for your business at NiceOps.com. You can find Erika at DailyWhip.com or her book site, ThinkLikeAStripper.com. Katie, where can we find you?
FullSpectrumProductivity.com.
All right. And Tina, do we have audio? No audio. TenaciousEdge.com. Do I have that right? Yeah, I got it. Tenacious Edge. Nicole at NicoleKellerman.com and Erin Giles at ErinGiles.com. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everybody.